Welcome to Future Hidden Movie Gems. My name is Jordan. This is not a costume. This is a way of life.
Yeah.
All right. And then I got my co-host Nick.
People don't take me seriously.
What does he say to his girlfriend? Have some respect for the dead.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You
All
guys
right.
missed the best one. You missed the best one. Brains.
But you gotta say it like them.
Brains.
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 All right. And then I got our special guest, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going? Looks like trash is taking her again.
Yes, yes. It's like, oh, this happens all the time.
Yeah, all the time. It's just happening again. It's totally normal. She gets wherever they go.
Yes.
And of course, she's one of the first ones to go, too, darn it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know. And then
Linnea Quigley. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know about Linnea Quigley. She's just a total B movie scream queen, and she's got to get in every movie too.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a buddy that's he's a Linnea Quigley super fan. He's told me so much about her, more than I care to know. But he's turned me on to some of her other films. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama is another
Huh.
one, and of course there's a scene because every bowling place has, you know, I don't know.
I'm not familiar with her other movies. Well, I'll definitely have to look into that. Okay, so today we're talking
Just
about
total B queen actor.
the Return of the Living Dead. You know, you mentioned she died too early. The other person that died too early was her boyfriend. Oh my gosh, I loved him so much. And then he just got eaten, like the first person to get killed. So I was really bummed.
Suicide. His name was Suicide. And I looked into his character because what was it? His name was Mark Venturini. He also played as Vic in Friday the 13th: A New Beginning, which is part 5. And then he was also in the movie The Stuff as the janitor. I had a friend.
No way.
I did a podcast with him about the movie The Stuff, and he had some sort of connection between those two movies that I can't quite recall. It had something to do with like writing the screenplay or something, but there's no credits that I could find. But yeah, Mark Venturini, he had leukemia and he died about 37 years old, but he started a couple of the movies too.
Yeah, well, he was in Knight Rider, the TV series. It looks
Yeah,
like.
Knight Rider as well. I
Wow.
think he was on Fantasy Island
Oh, he was
or
hot in the
some
80s,
other
man.
TV shows.
It's funny, as all his stuff is from like 1985.
Yeah,
That's like
that's the peak of his career.
1 year, he just went stellar and nothing.
So yeah, let's get right into it. 2 of your favorite things, Nick. I'll go with you first, so I don't take them.
Man, 2 favorite things. I don't know if there's specifically 2 favorite things. As soon as I started watching, I could tell right away this is a 1985 movie.
Yes.
It is just ridiculous. And in fact, it had it as a horror, but I kind of liked that it was actually a comedy because that's really what it was.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So that was cool. And then just at the same time, I almost wanted to hate it, but then I found love just with the ridiculousness of the movie, just of even the zombies, like even the concept of it. You think about the zombies, got no brains, no muscles, just pops out, just starts moving. They're talking to the chick, she's like talking normal, like when she was alive and just chilling. She's like, the pain.
That's why we have to eat brains to take away the pain.
I just like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous. But I think ultimately, man, it was actually just a fun watch, really. I mean, it was, the acting was terrible, but it was fun.
Yes, well, they lean into the campiness of it, which I love so much. So yes, it's hard to sum it down just to 2 because there's so many things I love about this, and hopefully I don't take all Jeff's, but I'll just rattle off a couple. So I love old school practical effects. I love how much they lean in. Major props to the props department. Oh my gosh, like every one of the zombies, and especially that girl you were just mentioning, the pain, like the puppetry on that, amazing. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And I really appreciate that, all the artistry that went into this film. And then, yes, like Nick said, the campiness of it, which I love so much because from the get-go, Yes, I just love the cheese. And I love from the opening when he's describing, he's like, have you seen Night of the Living Dead? And I love that they lean into that. And it's like, well, that wasn't like, that was a true story. They changed some of the facts. It just puts such a big smile on my face. Everything about this movie is pure gold to me, especially because I'm a zombie geek. I love zombie movies. And this is definitely in my top 100. It's a film I can go back to very often. So what about you, Jeff?
Awesome. Oh yeah, I mean, you guys both just hit a lot of the points that I was thinking about too. It is one of those movies that I go back to often, and I probably watch it at least once a year, right around this time. But for me, I have one of those flashbulb memories where I was maybe 14, 15 years old. I had a paper route. I was living with my dad in Boise, Idaho, and I had to wake up early at like 3:34 in the morning. Turned on HBO, and it was literally the Tar Man scene where he turns and says brains, and I was just captivated. And it's like you guys said, it's not like your traditional horror movies. You know, I had seen the Jason and Freddy movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, when I was younger, and those scared me. But this was more comedy, and it's fun, it's campy, it's 80s silliness, it's bad acting, it's poor makeup, it's a everything about it. It's just a fun romp. But I did a lot of research into the different casting characters
Yes.
and certain ratings too. So the director Dan O'Bannon, he was also a screenwriter, a director, a visual effects supervisor. He wrote the screenplay for Alien, which I didn't know.
That's
He
right.
wrote and
I watched a
directed.
documentary about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he wrote and directed Return of the Living Dead, which we know, of course, and he contributed computer animation to Star Wars. Worked on cult classics like Heavy Metal and Total Recall. So he's done a lot of work above and beyond this, which I wasn't aware of. Um, I looked into the scores as well. IMDb gave this a 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 91% on the tomato meter, 79% audience score, 79%. Sorry, I didn't say that very well. 79% audience score with over 50,000 plus ratings. So overall, good review. A lot of the actors. Do you mind if I just touch on some of these actors?
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Okay. So Tom Matthews, Freddie, he and Frank are the two main characters in the beginning that open up the barrel. Tom Matthews was also Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th, part
Yeah,
6.
that's right. Thank you for saying that. I loved him. Yeah.
Yeah. James Karen, who played Frank, the other bumbling worker, he was in Poltergeist, China Syndrome, Wall Street, The Pursuit of Happiness. I mean, I recognize his face. Poltergeist, he was one of the paranormal crew that came into the house. Clu Gallagher, who played Bert, the boss, he's done a lot of TV, but mostly he was known for Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and this movie, of course. Don Calfa is one of my favorite guys. He was the funeral director. I was a funeral director for 10 years. So I love watching the campiness of the funeral home. It doesn't look that way. It's funny just to see those little, errors as someone who used to be in that profession, to see these little details here and there that are just off. But Don Calfa was the hitman in Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh wow.
And I didn't make that connection at first. He has one of those faces that you recognize, but you don't know where else you've seen him.
Yeah.
Linnea Quigley, we talked about trash. Brian Peck was Scuzz. He was the other punk who had the mohawk. He's kind of the sad story of the bunch. He was charged with 8 counts of abuse, including abuse by anesthesia or a controlled substance. He served 16 months in prison after admitting to abusing a Nickelodeon star actor. He was in 2 X-Men movies, all 3 Living Dead movies, and he's now featured in a controversial documentary on abuse in Hollywood.
Oh,
so he made his transition from horror into documentaries. One of the other things you mentioned too was the puppetry. Alan Troutman was the Tar Man. He is a puppeteer. He's best known for his work with the Jim Henson Company. So I think he's responsible for a lot of the special effects.
I believe it.
Then Mark Venturini, we talked about Suicide. And John Philbin was another guy that I recognized. He had the Seersucker suit. He was Chuck, had the boom box, kind of the dorky looking one of the group. He was in North Shore, Point Break, and Tombstone. So some other big movies that I didn't realize.
The big ones, yeah. I love Tombstone so much.
So yeah, it's kind of a nice little collection of these B-list actors that you don't recognize at first, but when you peel back the layers, you kind of see some of the other roles they've been in, and it comes together and you realize, oh yeah, that's where I know them from.
Yes.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of I love it. A lot of that guys. It's like, hey, where do I recognize him from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You actually reminded me because people might recognize Ty's not here. He usually hosts, and I forgot to ask what was like watching the first time and rewatching it for the pod. So you said you watched it when you were 14. That actually reminded me of that question.
Yes.
What was it like rewatching it on the podcast, Jeff? Revisiting it.
It brings back a lot of nice memories, a lot of nostalgia. I mean, it's not an Oscar-winning film. It's campy. It's very cheesy. All the things we talked about, but for me, it's that nostalgia of going back to a time when I was just a kid and things were simpler, and waking up early in the morning and starting my paper route and having the whole area just to me is still quiet and dark. But I thought about that movie for so long too, and I finally found it a couple years later. I was so excited to find out which movie it was, because I only saw it that one time on HBO, and I was never able to see it again. So it took me a couple years before I found a copy, and I was able to watch it over and over again. But I try to make that a tradition every Halloween.
Yeah,
I like reviewing it.
I'm curious because my first time it messed me up. I swear I saw this maybe in high school. I honestly can't remember the first time specifically. I just remember how I felt, which is because I love zombie movies, but when I saw this one, it really messed me up because in other zombie movies, it's like, oh, there's rules, like you can shoot him in the brain, and that's what they. And when they dive into that in this movie and they try killing him, he's still moving. Like it horrified me because there's something about like not being able to kill them that is absolutely terrifying.
And then even when they incinerate them, the smoke goes up to the clouds. It creates more. The rain comes down, creates the whole zombie horde, and then they buy more people. I mean, how do you contain it? It's just like the nuke at the end.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't really a nuke. It's just an artillery strike.
It's surprising that that's what they went to so quick. Let's just blow the town up.
Yeah.
I know.
There's no help, no use trying to save it. Let's just kind of.
Only 4,000 people died.
I love when he's like asking him questions and he's on the phone. He's like, and he's like writing down. He's like, and then what happened?
Yeah.
So good. That guy from the get-go, when he's talking to his wife, he is such a character. And he's like, what did you make for dinner?
He's kind of rude.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Lamb chops. Great. I had those for lunch. He just walks away.
Okay, but then he says on the phone, or he's like recording like what time it is. He's like 1600 hours. That's 4 o'clock, isn't it? Army time. Who eats dinner at 4 o'clock? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's early.
Yeah,
that's a late lunch. The waking up, it makes me think of when I was a funeral director, because I would wake up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning to answer the call for we'd get what's called a first call, where someone had passed away and it goes to someone else, and then they take the call and relay the information to me, and I'm the one that puts on the suit and goes out and picks up the person. But all that information, sometimes I would be the one answering the phone call. And when it's 2 or 3 in the morning, your mind's not really that sharp. So for him to just kind of be in the zone right there, and what was he wearing? And what did he say? And where was this? I mean, just to rattle off all those things like that, I'm not buying that. That was kind of funny though.
Nick,
always makes me smile.
Before we forget, Nick, what was it like watching? Do you remember the first time you saw this movie, Nick? Or is this
with you?
We watched it together?
I don't know, did we? Because I don't remember watching it, but I feel like it would have been something that if I did watch, I would have watched with you.
Okay, then you haven't seen it, I don't think.
No, so this was my first time watching
it. No way.
Second time watching it is right now because I have it playing in the background, and I just got to the part where the girl just started dancing up on me. I was a little distracted. I'm sorry. She was
Looks like trash is taking her again.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any more quotes or any other notes that you have before?
No, I love that you're a zombie film fan aficionado. What's one of your other favorite zombie films? I'll tell you mine. It's the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I love that remake. I thought it was done really well.
I used to have it behind me, but I switched it out from Andy.
Really?
But yeah, I love the remake. It used to be in my top 10. Now it's in my top 20, just because there's so many good movies out. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, I actually Day of the Dead, I've actually watched probably more now, and I actually like it better. George A. Romero's Day of the Dead, because there's just something about it. Like, the villain is perfect. All his dialogue is so good. That's
George Romero.
Yes. So good. I mean,
you can't go wrong with George Romero. He's the originator of it all.
Exactly. Yeah, the aficionado. Well, Nick, in case you didn't know too, maybe you knew this, Jeff, already, but this is where they invented that zombies like brains, because the George A. Romero created zombies, but then this guy invented the idea that they need brains, which is really fun. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's such a clever.
It's a zombie fact of the day.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite then? Your favorite zombie movie?
For me, it's oh yeah, go. I was just gonna say, for me, I don't know if it's that way with you, but it's hard to pinpoint a single favorite film of any genre. You know, I have like favorite directors because they've done a lot of the stuff that I like. Oh, of course, the name goes to mind.
Danny Boyle's 28 Days
Kubrick.
Later.
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah.
I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. But yeah, 28 Days Later, great film as well.
And Nick doesn't like 28 Days Later because of the quality. He's all about quality.
It gives me a headache when I watch it. It's too shaky, too terrible.
No.
My eyes hurt.
It's early digital.
That can give you motion sickness. I've never seen that in the movie. I saw that in the movie theaters, and I really enjoyed it. And the girl that I was with did not, and I did not enjoy seeing her after that. That was the linchpin that. Yeah.
Ty, do you want to give your thoughts on the movie before we get into what we've seen lately?
Oh my gosh! Sorry, I missed the whole podcast, guys. This movie, Brains. So weird. It's so good. This is a good zombie movie. Holy crap.
It's just cheesy.
I was so really worried.
Burn them. You gotta burn them up until there's nothing left. Oh, we can give you the heart. No, not the heart. Destroy it all. Burn it. Burn it down until it's ash, and then they put it up into the sky, and then oh my gosh, the crematorium is right next door to a graveyard. It is raining. The rain will wash it away.
Isn't that convenient? The crematorium is right next door to the graveyard.
Oh no, it's getting into the earth, and then it's washing all over the dead body.
It's a great visual, by the way. Yeah.
I loved how indestructible these things are, dude. You freaking chop its head off, doesn't do nothing. Flopping its arms around, put it in a garbage bag. As soon as it's free, it just grabs onto the next person and starts holding them.
Speaking of that, really quick, Ty, I just wanted to say something I noticed about this and rewatching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. By the second half of the film, basically the second half of the film of this one and that, it's just screaming, like a lot of screaming. A lot of anxiety.
From that one that's from that dancing chick. She's just like, I'm getting acid rain on me. My
leave her alone.
We have bigger things going on here, and she's like, I am burning alive. They're like, it's a mild skin irritant. It's nothing to be worried about.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude. Freaking, there's so much about this movie that I love. Like, I actually kind of hoped when he's like, oh, we have like military grade bodies here that were like zombified, like reanimated corpses. I thought they were going to pull a joke on the new guy. I thought that the other guy that told them to lock up, and then like he left. I thought they were going to go down in the basement, and he's like, yeah, they were going to like scare him or something because, prank the new guy. No, he's like, yeah, these are military grade, some marine contractor put this together, and then it like immediately starts leaking. It just like gases them, and they faint. I love that. I thought that was so great.
They're made by the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers.
This is military grade.
Which is funny because this same guy was literally like a military screw up. Then they got the orders crossed. So this guy already knows that the military makes mistakes. Why would he be so trusting of the engineers that built these things? Like, he's like, oh, they made a mistake. That's how the bodies ended up here. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. And then like they wake up. Okay, again, love. There's a few zombie things that I haven't seen before, and correct me if I'm wrong. I loved that they were remaining conscious while they were like literally pronounced dead. So like they come in, they're like, he has no vitals, he is room temperature. I'm telling you, you're dead. And he's like, well, oh my gosh, you're telling me I'm getting rigor mortis, I'm dead. He's like, well, no, because you're conscious, so you're clearly not dead. I just don't know how to medically, label you. I don't even know what you are. It's a freaking amazing. I love that whole
blood
scene.
pooling on the side from lying down.
Oh yeah. Oh my
the rigor
gosh.
mortis from lying down. I thought that was all good too.
Yeah, that was freaking me out, dude. When they showed his back all bruised up and he's bleeding and I just got like a sick feeling. Oh, makeup is so impressive, guys. It's more impressive than your CGI. Like it would have been so easy to have like your skin crawling and like CGI effects and all that they do these days, but somehow just like blue and yellow makeup on your back showing bruising is like more effective than most CGI these days.
Absolutely,
dude. Makeup, dude. The makeup department is going overboard. The wet tar man or whatever they called him, the freaking oozing black skeleton. Oh, he was great. The freaking puppeteering of the one puppet, like the disembodied lady. Give me more brains. We need brains because we're fucking in pain. Like I just need pain. Like I just need to take away the pain, so I just eat brains. I just have to eat your head.
I was telling Jordan earlier too that Alan Troutman, the guy that played the Tar Man, he also worked for the Jim Henson Company, so he might have been behind the puppeteering and special effects. And I know that the director, Dan O'Bannon, he also did a lot of studio. He was a visual effects supervisor as well. So I think the two of them probably were responsible for a lot of it. But yeah, it's great.
They must have done like the dark side of Jim Henson, though, not like your sweet Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. We're talking like Dark Crystal and Labyrinth and all those stuff. Puppeteers, man.
Yes.
Very impressive.
Yeah, one of the other things that I loved too was the relationship between Bert and Ernie. I think that's funny too. Bert being the warehouse owner and Ernie being the mortician, the funeral director. They had known each other for 25 years. 25 years.
Hey, I gotta ask a favor.
Comfortable to like just asking for a favor. I know it was a big favor, but you would think after 25 years they'd be like, "Hey, look, man, I screwed up. Let me tell you what happened. You're not going to believe this, but these are dead body parts." The other guy would be like, "Okay, sure, I get it. I've known you for 25 years. Let's just go take care of it." But instead, I thought it was funny how they made that friction between the two characters the way it was.
I don't know. I've known. Has it been 20 years yet, Nick? And if you told me you had a bunch of dead body parts, I don't know how I'd react.
Nick, I'd be there in a heartbeat. I'd say, "How deep do you want the hole, Nick? How deep do you want the hole, Nick? I'll bury them for you."
You would definitely be helping me. That's for sure. I know too many secrets. I know too many secrets. I'll be like, Jordan, I know too many secrets. You're helping me.
Oh, you're blackmailing me now.
As a former funeral director, I know at least 2 ways to make bodies disappear. But you didn't hear that from me.
Oh my gosh.
I love too when he's like, "They're rabid squirrels. They're eating." He's like, or ferrets or something.
Weasels.
Rabid mice.
Rabid weasels.
Rabid weasels. And he's like, "Oh, I just can't burn them alive. Let me put them out of their misery." And they're like, "You can't." He's like, "What's going on here? What do you mean I can't put them out of their misery?"
Strapped. Like, it's late at night at the morgue, and he's
instead of explaining it to him, he's just like, "Let me stick this dead man's arm on you, and then you'll understand." Yeah. Like, oh my gosh! So
he had a great reaction to that, by the way. After grabs his leg,
just rips his pants. Oh,
yep,
so good, dude. So
Ty,
funny.
Did you have 2 favorite parts, Ty? Before we got?
Oh my gosh, 2 favorite. Okay, so. One of my favorite things in zombie outbreaks is like how contagious is the virus and what ways can it spread. I don't know why I'm fascinated by this, but like this kind of spread kind of made it seem like it was believable that it could get out of hand. Like obviously the ending, the nuclear or like the big missile fire to blowing up the whole city, and then they're like, "Oh, the ashes are everywhere," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's the same thing as the incinerator at the beginning." So it's a good callback, but it also like in a horror movie fashion, it had like the feeling of like, "Oh no. This is not going away. This problem is just going to keep spreading." I rather like that stuff, like because I've talked about other movies too, like where, oh no, like some of the virus got in my eye or the blood or saliva or like the ashes, burning the ashes, like the very matter, the organisms that like get reanimated that continues to live even though you burned it. Like this has to be like one of the most difficult zombies to kill that I've seen in recent memory. And they're not necessarily like dim-witted either. Like they're like calling on the radio, like, send more paramedics. The last ones were delicious. Send more cops. I just love that. Like they're talking and communicating on the walkie-talkies and the radio. You know,
they can take a pick to the head. They can make phone calls like that. They were planning the ambush for when all the cop cars came in.
Oh yeah, they would
hide.
hide.
Out the waving him down. Yeah, he's standing there waving him down like a policeman with the traffic light or whatever. Yeah, he's waving him down. They all show up, and then there's like, get him, and then like all these dead, like rush the guys that get out of the car, and they just tear him apart. I just thought that was great. And if I had to choose a second favorite thing, would be, I love the meta movie moment where they're like, oh, well, in the first one, what they did is destroy the brain. So he gets a pickaxe and he hits him right in the head. It goes right through his skull. And then the guy's still alive. He's like, yeah, it hurts. Get it out of my head. And they're like, it worked in the movie. He's like, well, why did it work here? He's like, are you saying the movie lied to us? Like, I don't know why I thought that was so funny. It was just like such a meta comment. Like, so, okay, confirm this for me. This is a sequel to Night of the Living Dead, correct?
So that's another.
George Romero's. Yeah.
No, so actually that's not by George A. Romero. They actually didn't get the he never got the copyright in time. And so this guy took that title, Living Dead.
So he took that title, but he was referencing the original movie, right?
Yes. I mean, because obviously they're huge fans of it. Yeah.
Okay.
And there were two other movies. There were two other sequels after this. I know the Colonel is in the second one. So
yes,
it continues the story as well. But this is my favorite because trilogy.
Colonel, what's his name? Mr. Hector Hubert. It was Hubert or something. His wife, Ethel,
Herbert,
man. Justice for Ethel. Yeah, justice for Ethel, man. His wife. Hey, how was your day? Oh, the same as usual. Crap. And he's like, well, I made you some lamb chops. Oh, I had lamb chops for lunch. You went. Like, I just thought that was so mean to his wife.
Yep.
And then like, at the very end, he's like, oh, he's like waiting for like Doomsday to come, and he gets the phone call, and he's like, I've been waiting for this. He's like, he gets out, types in the message to, I don't know, the president or like the, the freaking, I don't know, the military industrial complex. I don't know who he's calling.
You've got to be able to reach me 24 hours a day. You know this. Before cell phones. Now it'd just be a little cell phone.
Love it. Love it. It made the movie feel bigger in scope, and then they just crank this giant cannon and blow the city up. That made me sad. Spider was my favorite, dude. Get out of the car. White Hunky, crazy Hunky. He was my favorite. He was by far the coolest character, Spider. And I don't think they made it. Yeah, I don't think they made it. With that cannon blast, they just blew up everyone inside. I loved.
They're all toast.
Last thing that it made me really, really laugh was the mortician. He's like, well, what are we gonna do? And he's like, I've got this jar of acid. He's like, don't worry, it destroys anything it touches. And so like the boyfriend, after he starts turning and tries to kill Gina or Tina or whatever, it's like, Tina, and he's like ready to kill her. She turns on him, or sorry, he turns on her, and then like they see the boyfriend and then like open up the door and they throw acid in his face, and all it does is like make him more angry. It's just so terrifying. He literally did nothing but like, and then the other guy escaping. I was worried about that because I was like, oh, the other guy left the room when all three of them were at the door. They were all occupied with the boyfriend. The other guy that breathed in all that gas,
he snuck out.
I thought he was gonna come up as a jump scare. The guy just like a freaking like he killed himself. He climbs into the freaking incinerator and burns himself alive. I was like, holy crap! I did not see that one coming, dude.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. He's just like, I'm like dead, but he's like, I'm not gonna endure this torture anymore. I'm gonna climb into an incinerator and set myself on fire. That was the craziest thing I did not see coming. That was
something that can affect millions of other people.
He's just gonna send up more of his ashes in the air. But what does he care, dude? He's like, I just can't endure this pain anymore. Jeez. Yeah, that really made my heart go out, man. Everyone that just suffers, man, they really suffer when they really get infected, man. Oh, does not seem fun.
I thought that was a good touch, taking his ring off too at the very end before climbing.
Yeah, this is really like
I liked how Freddy. Moment. Yeah, exactly. Freddy jumping into the attic right as the bombs blast.
One last nitpick I would make. He's like, "Hey, you better watch your language, bud, if you want to work here." It's like you just released a deadly chemical agent on the job, like, and you just reanimated the dead. Do you really think you're keeping your job, Mister? Like, oh my goodness. And then like another crazy moment is like the dog animates or half of a dog animates. It's like, and then he just takes out a crutch and starts beating the dog to death. I thought that was insane, dude. Some crazy animal cruelty in this movie. It's amazing. Oh, movies like that just don't get made today.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Good stuff.
Great movie, dude.
Yeah,
Get my recommendation. So I
yes,
recommend
dude.
it.
Yeah, just everything about it, I love. Yeah, and I knew that Jordan was a horror movie fan, but I didn't realize you guys talked about more than just horror movies on this. So that's kind of why I chose that. But plus, it's also October. You know, it's close to Halloween.
Yeah, it's October, man. Got to talk about scary movies.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, love this movie. Before we wrap it up, though, what's something you've seen lately and something you're looking forward to, Jeff? Before we go, because we got 2 minutes.
Oh wow, something that I've seen lately. Crap, I can't even remember the last film I saw in the theaters. Something I'm looking forward to. Wow, you really caught me off guard. Go answer someone else answer that first. Give me
I was just trying to go to you because we only have 2 minutes. That's all. Nick, what about you?
Oh, okay.
Nick, what about you?
50
what have you
seconds.
seen?
What have I seen lately at the theater? Is that
No, or anything. What have you seen lately? And what
I haven't gone to the theater in a long time. I haven't really watched much, man. I've been gone. I've been gone the last week and a half, man, on a trip. But I watched. I've
been watching The Office. Does that count?
Yes, The Office. No, I did so
watch
good.
that movie, The Covenant. That was pretty cool. That's that Guy Ritchie movie.
Ooh, yes, love The Covenant.
Yeah, that was pretty intense, man. But and then that what was the other movie I watched recently? The No One Will Save You. That one was.
Oh, that's right. I watched that one too. Yeah, is that?
Come on, Jordan. I watched it again. I like it.
You watched it again? Oh my gosh.
I missed a couple of things. I missed things and made it better. It's all good. I love it.
Deadstream. I just rewatched that. Have you seen that, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
Talk to Me is very good as well.
Now.
Talk to Me is great.
No, Talk to Me is great.
Did you get a chance to watch Departures?
I don't know what that is.
The Japanese subtitled movie about the guy that plays in the Tokyo Philharmonic, and then he moves to the country and becomes a funeral director.
No. I have that on my bucket list though.
Okay, yeah, that's a good film, and I know you like subtitles. It's a good. It won some awards. So for best foreign film or something in 2010.
It's just you sitting in the darkness, Ty. It's actually perfect for Halloween.
Some street fans come by and light my face every once in a while.
You can just smile, stare creepily in the dark. I just wanted to really quick, Ty, plug Jeff's work. He actually, I don't know if you knew this, he is an artist for the Garbage Pail Kids. And I wish he could talk. Yeah, I wish I could talk about it. I mean, wish he could talk about it more, but just I'll leave a link in the description about his artwork and you guys can check it out. It's amazing.
That's sick.
Yeah, he's such a great artist and he has so many stories with different okay, well, not so many. Just I heard he told me one story about how
so many meaning of one story.
I mean, we just geeked out over movies and stuff, and he told me a story about how he met the guy from Clockwork Orange because Clockwork Orange is one of his favorite movies. So
the actor or like Stanley Kubrick?
no, not Stanley Kubrick. But the actor.
Right on, dude. Met the actor and he's like, so how was it? And he's like, I hated it. I hated Clockwork Orange.
No,
Stanley Kubrick screwed my retina.
But in interviews, he actually still doesn't regret and he talks highly of Kubrick, even though Kubrick kind of,
it's kind of one of those abuse victim things where they blame themselves and they forgive their abusers. Yeah, it's probably what we have going on.
What is that called? The Stockholm Syndrome? Is that what it's called?
A little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that usually involves kidnapping, but maybe he was kidnapped. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a straight jacket.
Okay, not the right word. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love Clockwork Orange. Guys, Ty, what have you seen lately, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I went to the movie theater and saw a little movie called The Creator with J.D. Washington. Got some thoughts about it. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, you can tell me. Just try to keep maybe spoilers out. I do want to see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No,
I thought you went and saw it. Okay. Yeah.
No,
so it was directed by Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One. This is kind of like Rogue 2, I guess.
it's so funny that Neil Blomkamp came out with the movie at the same time, and that was not his movie. That just for some reason that
he did
like
the racing one. Yeah, he did the video
jars
game
my
racing
mind
one.
because he did
Which
like
I mean, I guess as Neil Blomkamp's credit, I mean, like I feel like it's diminishing returns. I loved his District 9. It's one of my favorite
Well,
sci-fi movies.
if you saw his fourth movie, Demonic, oh, talk about diminishing returns. Holy cow. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but I heard the racing one's good. So to me,
Yeah.
I'm like kind of glad he's getting out of his element. I think he is a competent director and he can make good films. I have yet to see it, but I know Cameron saw it, right?
Yeah,
The
Cameron
racer.
talks really highly of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he liked it. And I'm like, I know there's a good director waiting to get out, but I just feel like they kind of painted him like, oh, you're the sci-fi guy. It's like, I think he's actually just, confident director. I mean, he literally had like a bunch of Halo props. And when's the last time you ever heard like a Halo game or a Halo movie success? So he made District 9. I was like, that was the best sci-fi thing I've ever seen. So anyway.
So what was your thoughts about the creator?
So the creator is good. I rather enjoyed it. There's obviously a few things that like there were some contrivances with like plot. There is a laugh out loud moment that took me out of the movie, but I'm laughing at the movie more than like laughing with it. So that was kind of weird, but we could talk about that without spoiling it later. But yeah, I left a review on Letterboxd, which I hope you didn't read the whole thing because they definitely spoil some of the things. But
I think I might have actually read the whole thing. Just because I needed a push. Yeah. I needed a little bit more convincing to watch it because I was like,
yeah. So if it helps any, it was by far the best movie playing at the theater, unless I wanted to go see Taylor Swift.
Cameron's friend Colton, he was on the podcast for her. He says like it's one of his favorite movies. He's watched it twice already.
It freaks me out that it
freaks you out because it got such good reviews. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, both critic and audience. But then I'm like, who's the type of person that's watching this anyway? It's like only Swifties. So it's like, of course it's got a high rating. It's got an audience score.
That's funny you say that because I feel like that way when I check every single anime movie. It's like the only people that are watching these are anime nerds because like all the reviews are like 100% on every single movie. I'm like,
I know. I'm like, I mean, is it a perfect movie? I mean, it's allegorical. It's pretty to look at, but Spirited Away makes no sense. I'm sorry. I understand why people like it.
Okay, I disagree there. Okay, there's some amazing movies, and those.
I like Princess Mononoke. I could follow that one a little bit more than I could Spirited Away. So I'm not.
They're all masterpieces. All masterpieces.
Masterpiece. Well, so you're just proving your point then. Anime nerd.
I'm talking about like because I love that one so much. I've been kind of branching out, watching other anime movies, and I'm like, okay, these ones are not quite as good as some of the
Studio Ghibli.
Well, the Studio Ghibli ones are good. I'm just talking about like other anime movies.
To be honest, I didn't know that there were other anime movies other than Ghibli.
No, there's tons. Actually, Ty,
you cornered that market.
Ty, you need to watch Perfect Blue. It's
Perfect Blue.
It's literally
Cameron. I know you mentioned that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Cameron's top 100 and Drew's as well, or it's top 10 for Drew. And you see so much inspiration for. I know he's not your favorite director, Darren Aronofsky, but also for Christopher Nolan as well. You can it's literally Inception. Before Inception was Inception.
Well, there you go. Before Inception was Inception.
Anyways, what else have you seen, Ty?
So let's see. After Created, that was the one I saw in theaters, and I haven't been back to the theaters for a while. And I don't think I will go back to the theaters for a while. Not until I don't know.
Flowers.
Napoleon looks really interesting. What was that?
Oh, aren't we gonna talk about Flowers of the Moon or whatever?
Yeah. So like, there's like two movies: Napoleon, which looks like a big scale, Ridley Scott, Joaquin Phoenix. Kind of excited for that, and then it just looks like big in scope, like another Spartacus. Anyway, and then I wanted to see Killers of the Flower Moon. So excited to see that.
I can only dream about what it would have been with Stanley Kubrick directing Napoleon, because he was planning to, but then he said
Is that right?
Yeah, he just
I would argue that either Christopher Nolan or
Stanley Kubrick.
In lieu of Stanley Kubrick, I'm saying like I would say Nolan or Ridley Scott, maybe Cameron. I don't know. James Cameron's kind of like he's all about the blue people. So
yeah, if he can somehow break away from his blue people,
maybe he can make like a Napoleon with blue people. Like in the third one, they resurrect Napoleon as like an avatar.
Like don't get me wrong, I appreciate Avatar, but like of all your movies.
I don't appreciate Avatar at all.
It's okay. Like the thing is, like I'll never
I own
rewatch
the Blu-ray
it.
and I've never seen it.
I do too. I never rewatched it.
Everyone owns a Blu-ray. We were like forced to buy it. Forced to. Mandatory. Yikes.
But yeah, we're very excited to watch Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, for sure. It's coming out this weekend? Next weekend?
Yeah. Oh shoot, is it this weekend? Oh man,
it's the 20th, I think. Yeah, it's like already the 17th. It's coming out Friday.
Okay, I'm debating though, because when I saw his last film in theaters, it put me to sleep. So I'm like, do I want to see it in theaters or should I just watch it on Apple?
This is it's a tight 3 hours and 29 minutes. So
exactly. So I can watch it in parts. I think that might actually be what I should do.
Watch it in parts.
Yeah, because I might like watch half of it and then come back to it.
Well, to be honest, like as much as I want to go see it in the theaters, it's like it's an Apple movie. I don't know if they're gonna like have it available to buy on Apple as early as the theater release. Maybe not. Which is crazy that like Martin Scorsese, one of like the most renowned directors, maybe if not like one of the top 10 most renowned directors of all time, is like struggling to get funding and has to go through channels like Apple to get a movie made. I don't know. I just find that crazy. I guess if he's not willing to bend the knee and make a Disney Marvel film, he has to go to Apple to make a gangster
a roller coaster
Native American. Oh, I know. What a nightmare. What a crazy landscape we live in right now. Apple
really
original.
Quick, I'll just go through some of the stuff I did. I watched quite a bit, but I just want to hit on a few just because it's Halloween. I just want to mention I rewatched Jeepers Creepers 1. I love it. It's so good.
Don't go down there. Don't go down there. That's all I can say.
Know. And then I rewatched I watched for the first time the new VHS movie because I love the VHS movies. Some of the segments are garbage, but some are good. But the newest one, it was not my favorite of the series. Like there's still things I appreciate of them, but not too many great.
Saw 10 letting you down. Now the new VHS remake is letting you down.
It's not a remake. It's like a.
The Exorcist. Didn't even bother to go see that, even though it was like a continuation.
That looks
horrible. 2 possessed girls. Yeah, you went and saw it. I don't know why you wouldn't bother to see it.
I rewatched Hatchet 2 and 3. I love them all.
Hatchet!
I love the Hatchet series. Victor Crowley is amazing. And yeah, I already mentioned Deadstream. And then Requiem for a Dream I rewatched. So good.
Dude, who are you watching these movies with? Are you watching with anyone? Is this just something you watch alone?
I just watch alone. Yeah.
I can't think of a movie more punishing than Requiem for a Dream. Maybe The Road. I don't know. It's up there. All I think about is memeing like, Viggo Mortensen putting a gun to my head rather than making me watch Requiem for a Dream again. So I guess there's that. That makes me at least a little happier. Really big conversations about movies like Requiem for a Dream. I don't know why you still see that movie. I don't know what it is about it.
Oh, so anyway, good. Darren Aronofsky.
And Jared Leto, 2 of the most self-stuffed, puffed people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing on this planet. No, I don't know him. I just mean like I know of. I don't watch my own movies. I'm sure Jared Leto's watched only Requiem for a Dream.
Any final thoughts before we go?
No, man. Hey, we love you, listeners. futuremovies@gmail.com. Leave us an email. Leave us a comment. We love you guys.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.